Congratulations, you're watching Money Moves with Nick. I'm here to help you make more money and keep it. And today we're talking about how 10x is easier than 2x financially, okay? I'm here to help you make more money and keep it. All right, we need to understand this concept. Now, this concept comes from the book, 10x is easier than 2x. I will put it in the description, the link in the description. You can buy it off Amazon, listen to it on Audible like I'm doing. But this concept was really important for me and my growth and my understanding of life. And once we can wrap our head around this, we can get better results financially, okay? So let's get into it. So we have the difference between 2x thinking and 10x thinking. Now, you probably right off the bat are thinking there's no way it's easier to get 10x. That doesn't even make sense, right? There's no way that it makes sense that it would be easier to get 10x more wealth than it is to double my wealth. There's no possible way that is true. And I empathize with you. That sounds right to me, right? That doesn't make sense, okay? Until you understand this. The process that it takes to double our wealth is a completely different process from the one that it requires to 10x our wealth, okay? It's not 2x and then 2x again and then 2x again and then 2x again. Keep doing that. It's just switching. We're jumping ships and we're doing something completely different. We are thinking different. We're acting different. We're asking different questions, okay? So let's get into this. What are 2x behaviors, okay? So 2x is doing the same thing we're already doing, but slightly better, okay? Here's the problem. It feels safer, but it operates slower. It feels safer, but it operates slower. Let's talk about this. Working overtime. Working overtime. I'm doing the same thing, going to my job, but now I'm putting more time in, getting a slightly better wage. I'm working overtime. I've done this, and actually, let me share a quick side story here. I worked a lot of overtime, got a huge tax incentive on my taxes back because of Donald Trump's new big beautiful bill with the overtime. So I got quite a lot of tax money back, used that to go on vacation. And unfortunately, though, that was a 2x thing. So I trust me, I've been there. I've done a lot of overtime, but this is what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to not work as much overtime so I can focus my energy on something that gets a different result, okay? The more energy I focus on overtime, the less energy I'm focusing on getting a better and different result, okay? So let's get back into this. Waiting for a promotion, asking for a raise. Do you see where this thinking is going? I'm doing the same thing slightly better. I'm still going to my job, but I'm working overtime. I'm still going to my job, but man, I am going to wait for that promotion. I'm going to get a promotion. I'm still doing the same thing, but I'm going to ask for a raise, okay? Has anyone ever gotten a 10x raise? Maybe you get a double raise, but in rare scenarios, but has anyone here ever got a 10x raise? I've never heard of that. So we're asking questions like, how do I get a promotion? Man, how do I get a promotion at this company? How do I get a 10% raise? I got to figure out how I'm going to get a 10% raise here. Maybe I'll work harder. Maybe I'll take my boss out to dinner. How do I impress my boss? How do I brown nose my boss? How do I get some more brownie points here? All right, these are the questions that we're asking, okay? The problem is we're thinking about doing the same thing slightly better. Man, I'm going to make some better rapport with our boss. Here's the thing. It's safer, but it's slower. I don't have to risk giving up my job. I don't have to risk getting fired. I don't have to risk emotional trauma of getting rejected by every single person when I knock door to door. I don't have to do anything unsafe or that challenges my ego or puts me out of my comfort zone, okay? It's safer, but it's going to be slower, okay? Now, emotionally, 10x is not easier than 2x. Want to make that clear, but it is easier and faster to get better results. All right, so what we're doing when we're doing 10x is change your entire strategy. Okay, we are jumping ship from what we're currently doing, and we're going to try something completely different. Okay, maybe I need to start a business. Maybe I need to switch industries. Maybe I need to create content that scales. Maybe I need investments that pay me. I want you to think about this for a second. How many entrepreneurs or how many people have you, like, let's talk about Jeff Bezos, because everyone knows who he is, okay? Jeff Bezos is a perfect example of 10x is easier than 2x, okay? So he was a Wall Street investor. He worked on Wall Street. And I would watch his story. He went for a walk with his boss, and his boss said, dude, you know, your business sounds like a great idea for someone who didn't have such a good job. Now, what happened with Jeff Bezos is he quit his job, jumped ship, a really good thing that he had to give up, and he started a business, okay? If you listen to a lot of business owners that are successful, you hear the same story over and over and over again. You want to know what that story is? Man, I was at rock bottom and I made a shift. Man, I had no money in my bank account. I made a shift. I quit my job and I made a shift. You know what? I moved. You hear how this pattern keeps popping up? I jumped ship. I did something completely different. It's none of these successful. I don't hear Elon Musk going, man, you know what? I was working for this boss and I just worked a ton of overtime. I waited for a promotion and he gave me a raise and now I'm a billionaire. You don't ever hear that, okay? Because it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. Okay? It's always, I started a business. Oh, I switched industries. I saw something lucrative in this industry. I created content that scales. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm on YouTube here. And you know what? I think I'm going to have to potentially jump ship on YouTube and get over to TikTok, to be honest, because let's talk about my mindset here, okay? Overtime sucks, all right? I don't want to do that. That's not getting me the result. Sure, I'm getting more money and I'm getting saved a little bit more money, but I am not getting anywhere closer to 10x, okay? So I started YouTube, okay? After about a year of YouTube, I've kind of realized some things. I get 10x results on my shorts, okay? I get 10x results on my shorts and like 0.25x results on my YouTube videos, okay? And that is an example of jumping ship. And now because I realize that, I'm thinking, man, I think I need to jump over to TikTok because I got a friend who, now I'm still going to be on YouTube here for you guys. I'm still going to make videos, but I'm going to actually slow down my YouTube. I might make one video a week on my YouTube channels and I actually focus more on short form content because what I'm seeing right now is that jumping ship from the long form and going to short form, it's so much easier. I posted a short the other day on one of my other channels and it got more views than and likes than the past like 30 videos combined as far as content goes. Okay, so I was able to just do a different strategy, short form versus long form, and I 10x'd my result in an instant doing no additional work. I literally did less work. I didn't even edit it. No, I literally did what I'm doing here. I just made a short instead, and my results were 10x, okay? Way over 10x, probably more like 100x if we had to be honest. It was more like 100x, all right, as far as views go. All right, so the questions we got to ask is, what industry makes 10x more money? Hey, what content creation platform gets 10x more views? What skill scales to millions of people? Okay, well, if it's a short form video, more people can watch it because we have this attention economy, and the short form content It's easier to get millions of people to watch a 1-minute video than it is a 10 or 20-minute video, okay? It's easier to do that. Now, I will say this, YouTube pays, you may get paid more for the longer form. If you can get someone to watch a longer form content, that's great. But for me personally, I think I might need to jump ship here, at least shift a majority of my effort. In the book, if you're going to read it, you'll see that if we shift 80% of our effort towards something that 10x's us and then focus 20% on maybe 2x stuff, that's kind of a ratio that they talk about. So you can learn more about that in the book. But what skill scales to millions of people? What asset pays me when I'm not working? So I've already got here. I already realized that my job doesn't pay me when I'm not working, okay? What asset pays me when I'm not working? Not my fucking job, okay? Does my job scale to millions of people? No. Does it make me 10x more money? No. Here's the problem. It feels harder, but it operates faster, okay? It is incredibly emotionally difficult compared to just showing up at my job and performing a task to go out there, put yourself on the internet and risk being rejected. See, when you show up to your job and they say, hey, stack these boxes on a pallet and put them in the truck and we'll ship those out, okay? All right. Now, no one is going to say to me, hey, dude, you suck. Don't you know that stacking boxes on a pallet is retarded? Nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to reject you. There's no public rejection because everyone's in there just stacking boxes. No one's like, dude, what are you doing stacking boxes, man? That's not going to get you the result you want in life. No one's going to say that. It's safe. It's emotionally safe. You just go in there, do what you're told, and everyone's happy, and it's this happy little life, okay? But when you go on YouTube, like this video might get shit on, okay? And people might say, your haircut sucks, or this video sucks, I hate you, I hope you die. People might say that on my comments, and so it emotionally feels harder but than my job. But once again, I got to ask myself the question, does my job pay me when I'm not working? No. Does YouTube? Yes. But it feels harder because I have to go through a little bit of emotional growth, okay? I have to go through some growth. I have to go through some personal development. Maybe I have to develop my people skills. Maybe I have to develop my talking skills. Maybe I have to develop better content and learn some things and post videos and get straight rejected. And now everyone in the world can see what a failure I am and what a loser I am because my video sucks. All right. And, oh, you said something wrong. Okay. You said something that doesn't make sense or whatever it is. Everyone wants to hate on you. Okay. That's never going to work. Your YouTube channel sucks. Okay. It feels harder because you have to deal with all this extra bullshit. But when we talk about getting to a different result, does my job scale to millions of people? No. Does my job make me 10x more money? No. Does it pay me when I'm not working? No. Does YouTube or TikTok or starting a business, does investing, maybe day trading, does that pay me 10x? Yes, it does. Okay, let's talk about day trading. Let's just quick go into day trading. Okay, so maybe I'm not very good. I'm not going to do a day trading stuff. Maybe in the future I will if I get bored. But I am more concerned with longer term dividend investments. I like set it and forget it strategy. I like compounding. I like income streams. I like cash flow. I like focusing my energy on 10xing on social media and then taking that money and just investing it and letting it ride. Okay, so I don't have the emotional investment in watching these charts and things like that. So I prefer that. But let's just talk about this. Okay, let's use 401k versus day trading. Let's use this example. 401k feels safer, but it takes a lifetime to get your money. It's like save this much from every paycheck and you'll retire a millionaire, okay? Feels safer, but it's going to take your whole life to get that, all right? Now, Day trading feels harder because you have to look at all these charts. You have to learn this new skill. You have to learn emotional intelligence. You have to be okay losing a ton of money and just looking at it with no feeling at all and be like, all right, I made a bad trade. Let's restart. Okay? I have to manage the fact of fear. You made a bad trade. Dude, you made a bad trade. I don't think you should do this anymore, man. You're pretty bad at this. You're going to lose all your money. Okay? You're going to have to deal with thoughts. You're going to have to deal with things that feel harder. But I think we can all agree, if you watch day traders' YouTube videos and stuff, you'll find out that day traders end up with the amount or more that people have in their 401k at retirement, and they did it in 1 to 4 years. You know, it's very, very short. Even if it took them 10 years, it would be, who cares, dude? 10 years to get a different result? 10 years of my life that's going to pass anyways. And now I get my retirement money 50 years early. Let's do it. Okay, so in recap, 10x is easier than 2x. Why? Because it's a different strategy. It's a completely different way of looking at and thinking about life. 2x is doing the same thing over and over and over again, slightly better, expecting a different result. You know what that's called? Insanity. All right, you are literally clinically insane if you think that doing the same thing over and over and over again is going to get you a different result, okay? Oh, I hate my job, but when I get that 10% raise, it's going to be way better. Fuck no, it's not. That's insanity, okay? So that's what I want to encourage you. 10x. Ask yourself this question. I want you to ask yourself and write down, even in the comments, what industry makes me 10 times more money than the industry I'm in? What skill scales to that I could learn scales to millions of people? Okay, does stacking boxes on a pallet? That's what I do. My day job. Does stacking boxes on a pallet scale to millions of people? Are millions of people going to call me up and be like, "Dude, can you please come over and stack some boxes on my pallet?" No. Hey, bro, I've got 1 million people that want you to make them a hamburger. Is that skill? Does making a hamburger scale to millions of people? No, it doesn't. You know what skill scales to millions of people? Teaching other people how to make hamburgers, making a good system, and then making a restaurant like McDonald's and making other people flip hamburgers for you so you can scale to millions of people because you created a system. You thought about it different. You said, I'm not going to be the one that flips hamburgers. I'll pay somebody to flip hamburgers, and I'll work on developing a restaurant that people want to come to, okay? People want to eat good food that's fast and easy and cheap. Let's make McDonald's, okay? And it's an asset that pays me when I'm not working. So I want you to answer these questions. Go in the comments. I want you to answer these questions. What industry makes me 10x more money? I'm going to tell you the answer to mine right now. Warehouse industry, it doesn't. You know what does? TikTok, YouTube. What skills scales to millions of people? I don't know. Not stacking boxes. Maybe being able to educate and build a connection with someone through a screen. Maybe being able to create engaging content and being able to capture someone's attention for 1 minute and add value to their life. Maybe that scales to millions of people. All right. What asset pays me when I'm not working? Sure shit ain't my job, but you know what does? TikTok and YouTube. Maybe Instagram, Facebook. AI stuff. Investing in the stock market. Investing in dividend stocks. Real estate. Rental property. Building a hotel. Starting a restaurant that I hire people to operate. Let's think about life different. We think about life different. We think about money different. We're going to get different results. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for tuning in.